Here's a story. You grew up feeling different from all the other boys. You always considered yourself one of the girls. It wasn't accepted for a man to transition into a woman. And by the age of 18, you were convinced to make the switch. After breast augmentation, sex reassignment, buttocks, and hip enhancement, you finally become a woman by your standards. But who would have ever guessed you'd end up in prison? Trappin Anonymous.
He burst in my cell with a shank this long and was like, now bitch, what the fuck you said, bitch? What bitch said? And I'm laying in my bunk, and the only thing I could think to say was, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this.
What's good? This is Trappin Anonymous. My name is Chris Styles. Welcome to the #1 Black True Crime Show. And I just thank y'all for keeping us #1. Everybody that's been supporting, keeping the movement moving, we greatly appreciate it. Do follow Chris Styles and Trappin Anonymous on that Instagram. DM me if you have a story that you need to be told. If you know somebody that knows somebody, we're just trying to get that information and most of all that education out to our people. We just greatly appreciate it. Keep sharing, keep liking, and keep the movement going. The episode that we have today, I'm super excited about, and we're gonna get to some things. We're gonna get to them. Do remember the stories that you hear are here to entertain, educate, and most of all, keep your homie off the streets. I'm Chris Styles, Trappin Anonymous. Let's get it. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, let's start with your name and why your story is important.
My name is Dianca Glamour, aka the Undisputed Auntie Toe. My story is important because my story is quite unique. My story is one of a kind. And my story is a story of passion. It's a story of experience. And it's a story of diversity.
Okay, I love that. Um, let's get right into it.
Right.
For the people that don't understand the surgery you underwent,
Right.
would you mind detailing it for us?
Well, I've had hip surgery, buttock surgery, cheek implants, lip, chin, breast implants, um, and a few more.
Um, would you mind detailing the few more, or
Detailing how?
have you fully transitioned?
I have.
You have. What does it mean to fully transition?
A fully transition is fully to your expectations of what's complete. A lot of people put fully up on what they perceive as full, but how can anyone perceive anything about what's complete for you? Only you know what is your completion.
So what is complete for you?
Where I'm at now with my transition.
Okay. Um, how does a person sort of change their reproductive body parts?
How?
How?
You mean like physically how, or how as in what? Surgery. So what do you mean by how? You mean the like surgery?
Yeah.
A reassignment is how a reassignment surgery.
Do you have to? Sorry, you got to talk to me like I'm 2 years old when it comes to
No, I
this,
mean, what's
because
up?
I have no real conception of the surgery, and I think that
You
a
mean
lot.
like the entire process of the surgery?
Correct.
Um, Basically, it's a nip, a tuck, a pull in, push out, and it rearranged some things internally. I mean, I'm not a physician. I'm not a doctor. So I don't know as far as, the intricate details of it.
I can imagine it'd be painful.
Well, I mean, beauty is pain. Life is painful. But we still what? Deal with it, get over it, and heal from it. So that's anything in life.
Talk to me about your time in prison.
Which time?
Which time?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, what was the longest amount of time that you spent in prison?
2.5 years.
2.5? And what was it for?
Counterfeiting, manufacturing.
When we spoke on the phone, you had told me there was two types of sort of traps for trans women. It was scamming and it was selling your body. Why do you say that? Like, sort of why do you say that? And also, why did you choose the scamming route?
Okay, that's very true. It's no different from within the straight community per se. A street guy. Okay, y'all have choices when it comes to hustling. Either you're gonna serve, sell, or some gonna rob. See what I'm saying? So it's all about really internally who you are and what you can live with. You know what I'm saying? So some guys will serve all day, but they're not gonna rob. You know what I'm saying? So in my community, I come from, I think that a well-educated background. And initially, growing up, I started off at a young age, like going to school and getting credit card, getting report cards. And with the report cards, certain report cards I didn't want to give to my, or was it a disciplinary infraction or whatever. So I like got my mother's signature to a T. And I didn't even realize that at 11, 12, 13,
Right.
I was like growing into, and so
Scamming already, yeah.
yes, it's like, and so once I came out and everything, and I became part of a gay family, and I had a trans mother, and she, kind of like you, getting a younger protege, you know. So I was her protege. She was my mentor, and the only thing she knew was escorting, you know. And so I'm thinking, you know, I went through a time to where I'm like, okay, what's the hustle? I want some extra money, and I was maybe about 19
Wow.
when I first started transitioning.
Right.
And compared to now, that's kind of late.
Okay.
Because you have to think, I'm not a spring chicken. So back in my day, you know, we weren't transitioned at 13, 14, 15, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so with me getting a trans mother who had already transitioned, and all she knew was escorting.
Wow.
So that's what she attempted to show me.
Wow.
And it didn't go well for me. You know how you try to do something one time and you like, oh yeah, you know, you take it as a sign like this is not for me.
I think we all got different no's.
Right.
Everybody's no is different.
And it was the experience with it, and I was like, no, this is not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it's a coin to be gotten, I'm gonna get me a oin. But it's the way to do everything.
Okay.
And back in those days, those girls was hitting the beats, like going out 11, coming back in 8, 9 in the morning. I'm talking walking, standing on corners, you know, because that is the original meaning of a bad girl. Talk about the bad girl. You ever heard of that song called Bad Girls, where they were talking about escorts? It's a back in the day song.
Yeah, I've definitely
It's the
heard
old
it.
school song.
Yeah, I've definitely
They
heard
were
it.
talking about escorts, you know, prostitutes, you know. And so back in those days, on the beat, hitting the street. It wasn't sitting on the phone, pulling up to a hotel. You got out, you beat your feet, made your oin,
Hit that blade.
collected your dough.
Yeah. What kind of influence did having a trans mother play on you and what you wanted and sort of like what you desired, if any?
My trans mother is very bodacious with her body. The boo, you know. I think I was amazed at her shape. I started going to strip clubs when I was probably like 15, 16 because my sisters danced.
Wow.
And I didn't know that as I'm sitting there watching those women, I was really like designing, like, oh my God, I want to be shaped like this. Or even how I dance, how I carry myself, it brings me back to the women that I first seen. And their body and their sexiness and their poise. So I love women. I love females because of that. That's where a large portion of me come from. But I'm a trans woman, so I don't want to be a female. I'm good with being a trans woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And so My trans mother was that for me. Her shade, she was very intelligent. She had a way with the men. What? Every man she ever, like, she had a way with me. I've watched men go crazy over her, literally. And she was very impactful outside of but she only taught me what she knew.
Right.
Because I held that against her later on in life. Like, well, why would you teach me to do that? Because so many things comes with that. But she only taught me what she knew. So she had a great impact on me.
When you say that, I see some points and you like she taught you some things that you probably thought that you shouldn't have been learning. Like what was one of those things?
Being out there doing it that way.
Got you.
That was very.
Sure.
It was very dangerous. It's
sure.
but that's what she knew.
That's what she knew. You said you started to transition sort of at 19 years old, right?
18, 19.
18, 19 years old. It's not like now when you can transition at 13, 14 years old.
Comfortably.
How do you feel about the 13-year-old, 14-year-old transitioning at such a young age?
Basically, it's to each their own call. I wouldn't trade my upbringings for nothing in the world because I feel that it made me tough. Because I didn't grow up trans. I played sport. I played basketball. I ran track. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I was in the Boy Scouts. I was at ROTC. So I really enjoyed and really experienced a boy chapter of my life. And I don't think I would change that because it made me tougher. And I think that's why my skin is a lot tougher. Transitioning at 13, 14, 15, now if that's what a person feels as though even as a baby, we know who we are. When I look at old pictures of me and I'm 5'6" with the girls, I have pictures and you can see it there.
Right.
You can clearly see that I was feminine. You can clearly see that I was one of the girls then. I feel that growing up, so from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I transitioned, not transitioned, but I remained, I kind of got a little more rougher because of my environment, because of maybe society,
Right.
and also because of what I witnessed, girls and boys.
Right.
Girls and boys. And that was my story. I
Right.
think when I became like 16, around like 15, 16-ish, was when puberty hit, and that's when I felt comfortable. My mom always like gave me open rein to speak how I feel. So it was all part of life. My life wasn't to transition at 13, 14, 15. It was meant for me to transition when I did like 18, 19.
You said that you wouldn't take it away because you like the fact that it sort of made you tougher.
Yes.
It's just seeing all sides of it. Is there a too young of an age for a child to transition?
Personally, honestly, I don't think, I don't feel that it is because in this thing, we know who we are. As I said, when I was younger, when I was 5, 6, 7, you could clearly see that I was the woman, I was, a little girl then. And now, look, so when I think back, I went from seeing me in that era of I'm with the girls, poof, and this, that, and the third. And I think somewhere in between the line, maybe my boy cousins, because I think family kind of see certain things. And I never got bashed as a child, ever. I've never been called any of the names ever by none of my family. But I think their thing was to kind of make me rough without realizing what they're doing.
Right.
I'm thinking we're just hanging out, but they're intentionally doing certain things with me, trying to take away that femininity.
Right.
But now I'm my grown ass age now.
Yeah.
And then I think back when I was that age, and now I still came back to who I felt I was, like who I was at 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I went through a portion of girlfriends. I've had girlfriends.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've had girlfriends. Oh yeah, I've had girlfriends.
It wasn't for you.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was for me when it was for me, but it
Right.
wasn't for me.
Right.
I did what I seen going on around me.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. More
like
so just doing
literally.
it, but not really. This is how I feel.
Yeah, that I think I like those girls, but I think that I was kind of living through those girls at that moment. Even the girls that I was going with, I think a part of me was like living through them. Like I like them like that, but I don't like them like that. But I like them enough to want to be up on, and I absorbed some of them in me.
Right. Right.
And so I can't, because in this day and time, these kids are so advanced. So I can't rightfully say that it's a certain age limit. I think that's for the child and the parent, honestly. That is my honest opinion because everyone's different. Everyone's different. And a
Yeah.
lot of heterosexual people speak on that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, do you have you even sat down with a gay family member?
Right.
Do you have a trans family member? Do you
Right.
have a so a lot of things is easier said than done.
Absolutely.
It's very
Absolutely.
easier said than done.
Right. From as far back as you can remember, you've sort of had this disposition when it came to men and women, or like were you always just attracted to men, or was it more of like the lifestyle thing? Like you said, you would hang out with the girls, you would do the things that the girls did, but you wasn't necessarily maybe attracted to a guy or a girl, or you was just like, how would you describe?
Oh, now wait a minute now.
Okay.
Growing up,
Yeah.
I had girlfriends, but I can recall me being maybe like 11, 12, or 13 doing a little bump and grind, with the boys, baby. We ended up in a little sleepover and that thing, baby, we did a little like grind, but that was like, okay, we just gonna do this right here. Get
Right.
up the next morning, baby, we'll go hang out with our girlfriends. But I'm 11, 12 with my little girlfriend that I quote unquote like.
Right. Right.
Right. So yeah.
Here's a tough question that a lot of people in, like you said, the heterosexual community, a lot of people that like to speak down, they like to attribute sexual abuse to everyone's story.
Wow, and that's I totally don't believe that.
Okay.
I totally don't believe that because when I look at my pictures, like I say, from 6, 5, and 6 years old, I was clearly feminine. I
Right.
was a girl then.
Right.
I'm talking about it's. I have pictures. It's crazy. So, and I had not. I have experienced that. I have experienced, but that was like later on in life, probably like 9, 11, 9, between 9 and 11.
Right.
But before then, I think that my femininity is what made those predators, because that's what those predators prey on. They can see, an older person can see femininity in a child
Of course.
the same way an older man can see a younger girl. Oh, she's so hot. She's gonna be so grown.
Of course.
So now he think that gives him the authority to try this baby. Oh, she already gonna be grown. She
Yeah.
already got her body developed. So even so with the LGBTQ lifestyle, I feel that predators prey on feminine boys.
Right.
He's older.
Right.
He see the femininity in his child. And he see it. So he feel that, oh, this person's already going to be that. So it's nothing, but that's still a child. And so I don't think that it has anything to do with me. It has something to do with an older person being able to see something in someone so young, and then they make their move. Yeah.
Which is like the sickest, you know what I mean? Like the sickest thing that a human being can rob of a
Yeah.
child, right?
Yeah, they're innocent.
Would you mind going in depth into what happened, or you don't want to
No.
touch on it? Okay, that's fine. These kinds of situations, how do you speak life into someone that experienced something so young? How can you give them some words of encouragement, or just even some advice, or just something that
Gotcha.
that you wish you heard when someone robbed that of you? What is something that you would tell them?
Well, when someone robbed that of me, I told my mom.
Straight up.
Yeah, don't play with me, because I've always been outspoken, and that's so I've always been outspoken. But it it depends, honestly. Because it goes so deep.
Yeah, it does.
So the only thing that I could say is find strength in prayer, find someone you can communicate with, and just know that it has nothing to do with you and all to do with that individual. And love yourself and protect yourself.
Um, wow. How do you feel about,
Wait, and can I say this?
of course,
Not one, because I've had two situations. Neither was from an openly gay person. All both was from men with girlfriends and a man with a wife. It was not. I had an openly gay uncle. Never tried me. Never tried me. And he wasn't my biological uncle, but he was my mom's and my auntie's gay friend, gay best friend. So we grew up saying Uncle Uncle whatever. But he was ooh child and all that, all that. I wrote him a letter when I came out. That was the first person I told. Um, but he's seen it in me. He never tried me. But he's grown as men with his wives and girlfriends did. Sure did. Yeah.
and to suggest that everyone that is gay or everyone that is trans is attracted to like these kids or like trying to
Are you serious?
or trying to like
Yeah.
you know, because this is coming from men that are quote unquote straight, men that are quote unquote living a straight and narrow life, and this, that, and the third, and these are the wolves in sheep clothing. You get what I'm saying?
They're like publicly straight, but with at the same token, we don't know what's going on in nobody's brain.
Right.
We don't know who we're standing next to. We don't know who we're sitting next to. We don't know what nobody have experienced in life. We don't know, do we? We don't know. So people plays into this picture of society of what they put that forefront up for a society, but technically we don't know what is going on in the next person's brain nor what they have experienced. And merely because they didn't get caught up in the lifestyle doesn't mean, because like I say, I was bumping and grinding at 11, 12, 13. Those, and I'm about the only trans. Those guys are now moved on with their lives with wives and children. See what I'm saying? So we never know what no one have experienced at some point in their life.
What do you think that those two men? What do you think that they robbed from you?
Whew. My innocence, definitely that, but not entirely. Not entirely, because, like I said, I told. I didn't feel what I told. I was like, "What, mom?" When I would, and it was hurtful because they accused me of dreaming. One of them was like, "No, she was dreaming," and my mom, that didn't sit right with my mom. But yeah,
Wow.
my mom immediately believed me. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm talking about went and addressed it and all. And it was said that I was dreaming. And still to this day, I will tell the same story. I wasn't dreaming, and this, and the third happened. 5, 6 aunties from my mom, 7 from my dad. I was always in touch with everybody. My dad raised me. I was a military. My dad was in the military, so I used to travel with him. My mom was a nurse. My mom had a husband. He worked for the city of where I'm from. My father had a wife. So no, I had a very complete.
So you didn't experience what so many experience when coming out, right?
Oh no.
As far as they can't do it, they don't feel comfortable, they don't want to say anything. You had a welcoming environment to who you were.
Yeah, I did, because my mom was just a very beautiful, supportive mother. She was, now me transitioning was kind of tough for her, but she said it was only because she just know that we live in a very cruel world, and she had to make sure that I can handle my decisions. So when I think back to what you asked me initially about kids transitioning at such a younger age, it is society that makes me in fear of younger kids transition, because how mean and cruel they can be. It's not of them making the wrong decisions. It's of society treating people so terribly because of their decision. Who gets upset about something that has nothing to do with them? That's the first question. If a person can sit and ask themselves, why am I so upset because this person like does the same sex, or because this person have transitioned? Why am I upset? That's like me getting upset with you because you have 10 baby mothers, or because you done slept with. Why am I? I have to ask myself, Dianca, why are you upset with something that he is doing? And people never stop to ask themselves the rational, logical questions because they have grown up. They haven't grown up with rational, logical parents.
Got you. Got you. I agree. I totally agree. Um, the issue with outing, I've seen like videos circulating online, things going viral, like with trans women in the club. They might have other people trying to call them out, like, that's a man. Or like sometimes they'll just tell someone else, oh, so and so deals with a trans woman or something like that. So what's your whole,
Woman
like in the
or a trans
club,
woman out.
like say like you're in the club and someone's like, oh, that's a man, that's a man. Like,
Uh, hey, jealousy. Jealousy. Let me give you a prime example. That's like you coming in here with that necklace, okay? And someone else is coming in here with the same necklace, but your necklace is what they would call knockoff, okay? So this dude, the dude with the real authentic necklace, okay, he gets inferior because you're getting more attention with your knockoff necklace, okay? So now when you leave out the room, they say, oh man, that nigga necklace good. Oh, that nigga wearing it. And he's so jealous, he gonna say, you know that ain't real. How would you look at that? You wouldn't look at that as jealousy and hate?
of course.
Because you with your knockoff necklace have got more attention, and now he have the real necklace and he feel appalled. This nigga got this knockoff necklace and they don't even know that this not a real necklace. But what does that have to do with him? Why can't he just mind his business? And so that's how I feel about females. They feel that the audacity that this person is not a real woman, but she's getting all this attention. These guys are adoring her. So when she walk out, you do know that she should feel like a pure D hater. Because if I have to shit on you, hate on you to pull someone over in my corner, I'm not that bitch. Because that bitch is gonna let everybody do them and still get what's due to them. That is pure D hate.
Yeah.
That's just pure D jealousy. And like sometimes you should want everybody is not for everybody.
That's right.
And I've known women to actually, I've had one real situation. A woman went out her way to do that to me, okay, and welcomed a whole rapist into her home. You so busy trying to tell my negations that I'm trans, and the guy, he go along with it. Now, he's trying to holler at her. He still holler at me, okay,
Of course.
on a one way. And then later on in life, I find out that this same guy ended up having a situation with this young lady's daughter.
Oh my God.
So some things you have to just let go. Everything is about mind your business. You could be, you don't know this guy, he maybe know.
Yeah.
I don't know what is the problem with women feeling that a guy who is bisexual, a guy who is trans attractive, have to look a certain type of way, or have to act a certain type of way, or he can't know because why would he? He can't. No.
Okay.
Right.
That's a great analogy. When is the right time to tell a man, okay, I'm a trans woman? Or is there a right time? Or like, is it something like you feel out? Is it like a conversation? Or do you feel like they already know? So like, when is the right time to say, well, I am a trans woman, if there is a right time?
Gotcha. For me, definitely before any type of intimacy. Before any type of intimacy, it's best to just get it out in the beginning. Get it out in the beginning. After the phone numbers are exchanged, maybe. After you fill out the vibe, because how do you know whether a guy knows or not? It's so many games that be played, okay? And they only want to include or acknowledge the games that trans women play, okay? So we're going to acknowledge the game that men play, because if they play them with women, they will play them with trans women, okay?
Talk about it.
Right. So we're not going to do that. Some
What
guys
are those
pretend to
games?
not know when the whole time they do know. Some guys know but don't want to acknowledge that they know. Okay, so it's so many different levels of this game because that's what life is for a lot of people, a big game. Okay, so they expect for trans women to come into something being so serious when it's a game, and you have to know how to play the game because these guys be playing the game.
It's a game.
Right,
It's a game.
right.
Do you feel a target is on your back?
At times, yeah, yeah, it is. But with the government, the rights, one minute they're opening up the world and they're treating everybody with the same, giving everybody the same civil rights and liberties that's due to every human being. And then, well, for Florida, they're trying to come back around and take away rights that they once given, and nothing have proven that they made the wrong decision.
You told me that you are only with men that
What happened? Keep going. What happened? You told me. What's
you
that?
told me
What's that?
you're only with men that allow you to deoncolize them.
Oh, definitely.
What does that mean and why?
Whew. I mean, it's kind of what I said about my trans mother. I love her so much, but it's just naturally in me. Like I know it's kind of like I know that I can be true. I know who I can be and who I am, but you have to love me a little more than I love you. That's mandatory.
Okay.
And if you don't, we can't be anything.
Okay.
Reason being is because I know that I would never do certain things to you, but I don't know if you will never do certain things to me. Right? I am honorable in my relationships, in my friendships. So that's and that comes from experience of just seeing other people in situations. I'm like, I can, I learn from other people's experiences in life, and that's true wisdom. To learn to sit back and be like, okay, no, I would go through that. No, okay, that. And I orchestrate my life. It's our life. We can orchestrate our life how we want our life to be to go.
So what is it that you do to them?
I mesmerize them in a way. I have 5 guys with my name tattooed on them. I was younger then, like
No, I feel
like I
you.
say, I
I
used
get
to
it.
make
I
them.
get it.
You had to
I
show
get it.
me. You had to. I don't know. I just.
So what?
Well,
Just
I'm a
getting a
Capricorn, so I think that's that.
A
Alpha in
Capricorn.
me, like yeah, like
Yeah.
show me,
Yeah.
show me,
Okay.
because I grew up just seeing men run games so
Right.
much,
Right.
run games so much. And no matter whether they be like, okay, well, you were born a boy. So that means, like, all of us have game. I've seen women run game, females run game too. But men are more like emotionless. So to be able to touch a man's emotions and to get them to be more vulnerable and not be the typical run through you, handle you, dog you out the way they do the typical, you have to take control. Because if not, you're going to end up like the rest.
So essentially, you switch positions. Essentially, what I'm getting from what you're saying is instead of you allowing them to
Right.
you be the woman and they be the man,
And
you become the man and they become the woman.
no, because I love for my man to be a man.
Okay.
I know, and you know what? I've had this situation because I had an ex who used to play this little game like, well, you only think that way because you're trans. And I have whole born women who is just as alpha, an alpha female. It is some alpha women. You ever saw a woman and a man at a party, and his wife is just her? She walking the party,
Of course.
she having a ball, and he can stand back and he feel proud of baby. Do your thing, baby. And then a man and a woman can be somewhere, and the woman this guy cannot even take her being heard because he's so insecure and he wants to control her. And then there's some men who enjoy. So it's not about me because I love the alpha men. I love alpha men. See what I'm saying? I love alpha men. I love alpha men. But I love a man to where like he has to show a level of vulnerability for me. He has to be de-uncleized.
How does he do that? How does he show you that vulnerability? How does he become de-uncleized as you?
He really have to let me run the show to a degree.
Okay, and what does that mean? How?
I do what I want to do.
Like
I
what?
make
Give me
like
an example.
decisions. Example.
Give me an example.
Back when I used to, in my heyday, when I was pushing the pen and going up in the banks and stores, this, that, and the third, he have to say, babe, he have to treat me like a queen.
Okay.
Man, I'll do it. Just show me and I'll do it. Like that was something that I've always required.
Okay.
Yeah, I have lowered, because I had a reputation in the street. I've
Right.
been in federal prison, was
Right.
in a newspaper, was on the news, this, that, and the third. So a lot of guys, they get down. They want to get around them a coin. Like, who wouldn't want to fuck with somebody who making money, who making bread, girl or a guy? But don't think you finna get a part of this life and not contribute. See what I'm saying? So you come in the door, think you just finna ride free, and next thing you know, you out here doing the hustling and the bustling.
Right.
Right.
So this isn't a sexual thing.
No.
Okay. I don't know why. I just felt like it.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was like.
Oh, well, that's a little, that's part of the mitigations too. What is great that comes without sacrifice? So yes, it can go there too.
Go where?
Certain things have to be experienced back in my heyday. Certain things had to be experienced. Certain things, because don't just sit here and I love you, I love you, I love you, I'm gonna be true, but you're not willing to sacrifice anything. And sacrifice means whatever I choose to say, well, I want to experience this with you. Let's experience it.
You want what?
I would like to experience certain things with certain things.
What's the most extreme you think it's going?
Yeah. Right.
Huh?
Right.
Okay. Let's move on.
Gotta know that.
Let's move on. Do you still have your male parts?
Which one?
A penis?
Oh.
I don't want to sound so vulgar.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm exotic. I wouldn't trade being an exotic for nothing in the world.
What's exotic mean for people that don't know?
Rarely seen.
Huh?
Rarely seen.
Rarely seen.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. That's why I don't want to be a female. Like, they need to cut it out. I believe I would lose a certain level of power, I think.
If you got rid of your male part.
Both parts.
The like your testicles, and
Right.
so you feel like it gives you more power to still have it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, are you serious? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. On so many different levels. so many different levels. Because you have to think, when it's some real niggas out here, and I don't judge a real nigga by what they do in bed. No, I don't. I judge a real guy, a thorough guy, by his character. If you're out here lying, stealing, manipulating anyone, that's bad character. You're not real. A real man is going to stand on who he is, his word, and not even on no perfect type of shit. I'm not saying stand on what he feels as he has to tell his business to the world, because I think that's what people think too. Well, how you can consider him real and he's sneaking, or he's sliding with trans women or with gay people, that don't make him no. What does his personal bedroom business have to do with society? What? Like, who isn't sneaking with somebody? Who isn't? So when I say real, I mean as far as character-wise. You know what I'm saying? And so when a woman, when a female run into a pussy ass nigga, she's even mad, upset, she still have to do what? Lay down and let that pussy ass nigga climb on top of her.
That's right.
Because that's genitalia wise, that's all she can. And so a lot of women be with guys who don't take care of them, lie, but they still end up laying down and him doing what? Him climbing on top of her. And so so yeah, she taught that shit. We see people all the time on social media. Pussy ass nigga, you don't take care of your churn. Pussy ass, pussy. But eventually she still have to lay down, and the only thing she can do is now with a woman of my caliber. When we run across a pussy ass nigga and he giving pussy ass nigga vibes, like, you know, the line, the playing head games, because they do that to women and they bring that over to the trans women too. And we sit back and we're like, okay. Well, I don't know about them men. Okay. Oh, so this is what I'm dealing with? Okay. Like, I can get my pussy to a pussy nigga. So if I can get my pussy to a pussy nigga, what else I'm gonna give? Oh, okay. Right.
So now
if it's a solid nigga, oh yeah, I will submit for that thorough solid shit. But to just think that everyone is just qualifies to just climb,
So now
maybe that's the part.
now you make him get down, and it's
Right.
got you. Can you turn straight men out, or do you feel like it was always something that was inside of them?
It's ironic you would ask this. I think that I do think that it is some purely heterosexual guys and girls in this world. I really do feel that way. I think that it's a very thin line to what is attractive to a person. I don't think you can kind of like, I don't think a straight guy can be turned out. I don't. I do think that it's somebody for everybody. I do think that way.
In prison, how often are the straight guys, quote unquote, how often are the straight guys dealing with other men and other trans women?
Phew. Oh my goodness. Well, other men. Trans women in the system back maybe like 10 years ago when I first caught my first bid. Oh no, because it's been 5 years, probably about 15 years ago. When I was the first transsexual on my compound. And even before I got there, I mean, the littlest thing with a little hint of femininity they was on. I'm getting off the bus. They like, oh, you got some sisters here, Peaches and Strawberry and Penelope. And when I look at so I'm thinking, I'm finna see feminine, a girl. And when I see them coming out the child hall, they wave, and they looking like George and Harry and Frank. And I'm like, oh my God, like if y'all going in for this, you know, and like no shade, you know.
Yeah.
So like, but I guess being in there for so long, they, like I say, they look for the she got lashes, or any small feminine things that will, I guess, arouse them. So I don't think that they were turned out. I think that it was something always there for them.
Right.
But it's maybe about like 90%.
90? 90%?
And that's me, 90. I was 87. 87 flat out.
87% of the men in prison are dealing with other men.
Right.
And you're saying this after serving altogether, what was it, 5 years?
Altogether?
Altogether.
Probably about 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
If men are in prison going after the slightest ounce of femininity, what are they doing to you?
What are they doing to me? What do you mean?
How are they coming at you? How are they talking to you? Are they trying to rape you? Are they trying to be aggressive with you?
Well, honestly, I think it's men are predators. They sit back and they kind of see how far they can go with who they can go. I've had situations, me being trans, me coming on the compound, me having all this work, souped up. They thinking, like I say, titties that they can just come at me the way they come at the typical female. You know, so they try to run down. They try to be the first one to the punch, and I've had to say, listen, hey, back up, because I pick and choose. See what I'm saying? So that's me taking control. I don't let nobody pick and choose me. Because if a person is picking and choosing you, that means that they already have something in mind on what they want to do with you. Okay? So you're not going to pick and choose me now. We can have a mutual interest in each other, but you're not picking me because that means that you're preying on me. So I take control back because once again, I know what I would do to you, but I don't know what you would attempt to do to me. So they come like that. They come like that. And then they have this thing, you know, when trans women are together, they know that it costs money. Nowadays, there's so many free surgeries, but back when I was getting surgeries, whether it was black market or straight off the slab, it took money on it. It took money.
What was the most traumatizing thing that happened to you while you was locked?
Um, a guy put a shank out on me. He was an older guy. Well, he was probably like 40, and I guess me being trans, he was like, oh, you know, he played this thing like being cool with me, and I'm thinking we were just only cool. And he started showing interest, like stopping by my cell, talking to me. I don't want you. I want some fresh meat, sir. So I was like, listen, we could be cool, but when I'm doing my mingling about with the fresh meat, I need for you to fall back a little bit, sir. Don't try to push yourself on me. Don't try to push yourself on me. If I don't want to let you in my cell to communicate, that's that. Find something else to do. And so this guy that I thought we were cool. I kind of stopped communicating with him for a few days because I had a new prospect on my radar, right? And he kept coming in, like trying to check in. I was like, hey, give me a minute. I'm gonna come down there and holler at you. Give me a minute. Don't try to push yourself on me. I have a real big problem. And maybe that, you know what? Me experiencing that as a child probably what has me so guarded with people who try to handle me. Now that you something because you asked me that earlier, you was like, what did they steal from me? Because I wonder why am I so aggressive when like people try to stop me? Don't I and maybe that attributes to my experiences in childhood when somebody trying to push. People do not know triggers. Don't push yourself on me. Don't try to handle me because that's a trigger. And when he kept trying to come in my cell and forcing me to talk to him, don't force me to talk to you. Find something else to do. And I kind of snapped one day. And I was like, listen, don't come back in my cell. I will holler at you when I'm ready to talk. And I kind of forgot. Like, I real deal forgot a little. And 5 minutes later, he ran in my cell with a shame. I heard this man, you know, a man's ego is a man's ego.
That's right.
Okay. And I had kind of like, because now that I think about it, I'm like, girl, because I'm like one way. This is like who I am. And when I get aggravated, it comes out. And I forget that I have to, baby, this is prison, girl. But you're trying to go home, right?
That's right.
This man didn't been here for 15, and that's a man that I've never dealt with guys who have more than 5 years left. Never. That's one of my principles now, because y'all don't have too much to live for. All that life sentences, you in love with me, don't play with me. Baby, I will push him off of one of my sisters. She wants you. I'll make you my brother. Yeah, because you ain't finna be kicking my ass all over this motherfucking compound because you miserable, because you had all this damn time. So I've always thought like that. So, but with him, like I said, he had too much time, so I knew that we couldn't be nothing. And now you trying to get in the way of me, my little fresh prospects. Child, you better find something to do. Fall back. Fall all the way back.
What does he do? What did he end up doing to you?
He burst in my cell with a shank this long and was like, now bitch, what the fuck you said, bitch? What bitch said? And I'm laying in my bunk, and the only thing I could think to say was, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. And that's all I said. Probably like 2 times. I was like, I don't did because I had done nothing to you.
Straight up, straight up.
The only thing I could think to say was, I do not deserve this. And I was so terrified because you know, like I'm trying to go home.
Yeah, he could snap.
I don't even have that much time to be in this situation.
He just
You know,
backed off.
I don't do this service, and I was just looking at him, and yeah, he was like, and I was like, I don't deserve this. That's all I could say.
That's it.
And another time, a guy put a knife on me because I called him a she, but he was a she, but he was one of them homo thug she's. And baby, I called him a she, and he was like, "You was talking to me?" And the only thing I kept saying was, "Did I say your name?" Because I wasn't finna talk about therapy. Nah, that was me. I was like, "But did I say your name?" He was like, "But did you call me a she?"
You told me that when you got there, you would deal with the most thorough dude on the yard.
Had to be. You have to know how to survive. It's called survival. So either you're going to be my husband, or I even settle for you being my brother. Yeah, it's a lot of guys. Every guy is not meant for me to deal with on that level. I have some dudes who solid as fuck, who was like my brother, but I have been to survive in prison and me being a trans woman. Are you serious? You think I'm finna sit there and fuck with a weakling? Baby, and I'm a trans woman who came to prison fully loaded,
Wow.
and with my own money. So if they not at me, they have so many different perks that comes with me.
Yeah. Wow. It's just so interesting. Like you have to be intimate with someone that you're not necessarily attracted to just for your safety.
Well, we have to do what we have to do in life.
Straight up.
And but my first bid, I pulled a sergeant. And like I literally heard about this, like watching TV, and that's when I said, "Oh, bitch, you a badass bitch." Yeah, I put a sergeant my first bid, baby. Sure did. I said, "Well, yeah." I thought he was bullying me. How he did it was so smooth. I thought he was like fucking with me. I'm like, why did this sergeant keep fucking like I'm going to breakfast like 5 in the morning when I did go and he like pulled me out the line. Glamour, step to the side. I'm like, and he telling everybody to keep going. And I'm like, yes. He like, so how are they treating you? Are you having any issues? Then it was certain times he'll call me to come and clean up the office station. I'm not a housewoman. Baby, I was classification orderly. So I'm not figuring out why you calling me at 5 in the morning. Right? Yeah, it's about status in there, and even in there I had status. You know, I had corporate job, classification orderly, property orderly, administrative orderly, and then you have the girls who pushing the Flintstones, who working inside ground. Baby, they didn't put the tote on there, baby. They put the tote up there in the White House with the right. And so I'm like, I'm not a housewoman. A housewoman is someone who wake up every day and have to clean the dorm.
Right.
No shade.
Right.
But he used to come, I'm like, that's not my job. Why you won't get the housewoman to come up here and do that? But this was his way of getting me alone. And it took a Mexican to put me up on game one night. Because, baby, every closed eye ain't sleep right. So about 5 in the morning one night, baby, he didn't kick my bum. And they say, Sergeant, woo want you up in the officer station. I'm like, what? Why me? I'll go up there, take out the trash. He's like, hey, put them trash, the Mexican end up like later on, like, hey, lovely. I'm like, well, he's like, you know something. But yeah, so it goes to show that someone else already knew. And they put me, because this is my first bid, so I'm thinking he's fucking with me.
And you having sex with him?
We did a little razzle.
What's razzle?
Razzle, I mean, it's many ways you can please someone without actually having sex. You do, so yeah.
And
so
was
that's
this man
what
married?
I guess another name would be like foreplay.
Okay.
Right.
Was this man married?
Oh, I'm sure he was. Yeah, he was. He was.
And
I didn't know. I never met his wife. I didn't know. I just heard he was.
How long did this go on for?
Ooh, probably like a year.
Wow.
Well, baby, I needed my trinkets to
No,
baby, what?
No, I get
It's
it.
called survival.
No, I get it.
Somebody had it wasn't I didn't try him. I didn't come on in.
No, I get it.
Baby, I was trying to do my time.
Right.
But in the midst, baby, that could have been a blessing. You think I'm finna see, baby? We got enough. Baby, I needed my shit. Because even in there, I was a queen, baby. I had my moving and shaking going
Yeah,
on
you
because
so
that's what I
extra, yo.
motherfucking do.
It's all personality.
But
Okay,
I'm verifiable.
for sure. Okay, so we talk about sort of speaking of staff. Is there sort of like a envy that comes with maybe the female staff
Oh,
when it
yeah.
comes to
Let me tell you something. They had this thing, oh, we can't let pre-op. A pre-op trans woman is someone who have everything but haven't had the reassignment. Okay? So initially it was, oh no, we can't let them on a compound. So you would think that they were doing it because of the safety.
right?
And now, 2024, the trans women can be on a compound, no shooting, no rape. So that lets you know that it was the women not wanting any trans individuals on a compound because of the jealousy. It's so many women come to work and get upset when we're in there living our best life, but they come to work to live theirs. Are
Are
you
you
serious?
sure people are gonna think that? Well, anybody in a right mind would think that when someone that looks with the body and all the work done goes into a male facility, that all of the men are going to, and you're saying that's not the case.
No, there are some
Right.
purely straight guys in there. But even the guys that get down, it's a way to do everything. So they're gonna gravitate towards this trans girl.
Right.
But how are they gonna? They're not gonna do it viciously. Now it will be. They're having
Of
situations that
course.
way. But even guys, you still have people around you.
Right.
So guys still want to preserve their reputation. You know, like unless it's a guy that really have like a lot of time to where he
Right.
just don't care. But they were saying like viciously they're gonna try to take something or rape
Right.
something. No, they do that to them little white boys.
Wow.
That's who get their shit took.
Wow. So this is more of a competition between the women CEOs and, like you say, the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. And it shouldn't have to be that way because
They competing with y'all.
and will try to get in our business. Oh, they will try to befriend you. I like they just pro gay and oh girl, where you get your implants from, where you get your work from, your work from, and then they're like, oh, so what do inmates such be doing?
Because they fucking
I
too.
don't know. Right. And they trying to get the skilo when you're not even supposed to be in here sleeping with. Y'all want to lock us up for relations, and then their ass get escorted out for the compound for relations.
And this is common.
This is extremely common. Extremely common.
Speaking of sort of that woman to woman back and forth, is there like a trans woman versus woman thing? Does that exist?
Not that I know of. Not personally for me per se. I've never, even been for my transition, I've always had like a genuine love for women, but not the messy assholes or whatever. Let's just, I don't think because the trans women I know is comfortable with being a trans woman. So this whole narrative of trying to replace them and that no, or this whole thing is trans women hate females or want to be them and no, like not from where I'm from, not from my circle, from my knowledge of trans women that I communicate with, and we share the same level of mental. No, it is not that. It is not that. We're given two different things in bed. We're given two different things, period. Outside of, similar body parts, but I'm talking about the way we deal and maneuver
Right.
with the men is totally different.
Got you.
So
Did you ever have to fight in prison? Did you ever have to?
yeah, but it was with, like someone from the community, never a guy, never like and never a guy I was dating. It was like a butch queen. Or a transvestite. Because when you're that girl, when they don't have nothing to compare you to, and in prison it's about availability. What's available at that time? They get big eyed. And then when variety come around, now I was like, "Ooh, now I thought dip, nah." And then guys, the way they do, they play people against each other, comparing,
Right.
and someone fall weak, and they want to come and kind of check it, and they'll get nothing for it.
Wives have paid you. Wives have paid you to just let their husbands touch you.
Well, touch, but that's it. And
But
I
that,
think
but
that
that a wife,
those wives are the type of wives who is sexually fluent themselves, and they can appreciate knowing what their husband have an interest in versus not knowing.
a man goes to jail, he does 10 years. In your mind, did anything homosexual happen in that time?
That's not always the case.
It's not always the
I've
case.
known guys that been there for 20, 30 and ain't shaking nothing.
Straight up.
I'm like literally. It's a literally. I am being so honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it is a very high percentage rate, but there are some guys that isn't like there just isn't attracted. It's literally well, you know, the mind is real tricky. And like being in those showers, you know, because prison's like
Open.
a shower from here to here. So if you don't guard your mental, if it's already something there, you know what I'm saying? If it's even a little teach and you mess around and you in that shower and it's some guys out here that got some fat asses. Like literally, let's just keep it is some guys up on them clothes and if like and this was back in the white boy era and it's some so I don't know, but I can only kind of assume how it is, and I've communicated with like guys, but it's just not something that like a heterosexual guy can just look at another guy. He don't care how fat or whatever it is.
Right.
It's just not his interest.
not his thing.
But I do think that if it's a little bit of freaky, it's freaky. You know,
So
everything's
if a
just
guy-
not about being gay. It's
Right.
just some guys who are just overly freaky and they can find a attraction to weird, freaky things, you know?
So what they call like gay for stay, right? Like they just
Gay for pay or gay for stay.
gay for stay.
What does that mean? That's a new one.
Yeah,
I
like
haven't even heard that
if like a guy only does something with another guy inside of prison, but outside of prison, he
one. Oh,
ain't
that's
on it.
gay for stay.
That's gay for stay.
Yeah. Now that happens a lot too.
Would you consider a guy gay that just does something with another guy just one time and just never does it again? Would you still consider him gay?
Definitely not. That is so unfair, I think.
I want you to speak about that.
I think that is
Because
that
for
is so
women,
unfair.
they are allowed to sort of be bi-curious and explore those things and not really be considered a lesbian per se. But for a man, if he does one homosexual thing, he's gay. So if you can speak to that.
That is very ironic because I've had 3 or 4 boyfriends within my business, and do you know outside of there, and I'm being honest, we had very, very beautiful relationships in there. But I would never ever speak on them because outside of there, there on the street, it was never nothing. It was never nothing. And I'm not even looking at it like, oh, well, you was good enough in there. No, I think that a person can have experience in life, but that doesn't define who they are. That's like a person smoking weed or doing a drug one time, but does that make them a drug addict? No. No, it doesn't. And I think that everybody have, not everybody, but people can have chapters of their life where they actually had to experience something, but that's not who they are.
Oh.
Literally, that is not who they're, and that goes as far as girl or guy.
Right.
But and women know these things, but women also know what to say to agitate a man, what to say to put a man down to the point of making him embarrassed, shamed, and trying to hurt him. Because a lot of women do that, but they still sleep with the guy. So if they really felt that way, And this guy still get rock hard when it comes to them. But this is one of the manipulative things that they say to a man to make him feel less than a man, or to make him feel terrible about experiencing certain things when he is aroused by her. So how is this man gay when he is aroused by you?
What do you
A
have?
gay man is not aroused by no woman. A gay man is not aroused by a trans woman. So this is what they make men feel. Oh, you're trans. Oh, that's still a man. That's still a man to you, Miss Thing. To the female who's saying it. And she's okay to look at us how she feels, because who cares how she feels. But apparently, but that doesn't, she cannot reflect on how a man feel. Like, they literally want a man to look at all this woman and say, that's still a man. Because that appeases them. Because that's how they view someone. We cannot force people to view nobody how we view them. I could see a guy with a girl, I could look at him as a pussy ass nigga. I don't care how much pussy he get. I don't care how much pussy he get. I've known plenty pussy ass niggas who get a lot of pussy. But I can look at him as a pussy ass nigga, but I can't get upset with her because she don't.
Right. Oh, you said a lot there. I think there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
The DL man. How do you feel about those guys? Do you feel like it's something that they should be more vocal about, or is this like something you feel like you can hold a secret? Like, how do you feel about the DL man?
Well, I feel that their business, I mean, whose business is it if two people are dealing? Like, literally, like, ask yourself, what business is it of yours about what two people is doing if you're not involved in their relationship or their bedroom? I feel that everybody is around here sleeping with somebody secretly. Now, there is some faithful people, excluding them. But for the most part, it's not even the problem about someone is being unfaithful. It's the problem about people it's just nosy. People is literally nosy. I think that we have lost the values of mind your business. Nobody preaches that no more. Nobody preaches that no more. Rule number one is mind your business. Like, what does it have to do with you? I actually feel not sorry for them, but do you know how it feels to be attracted to something and you're not even, they didn't choose that. They didn't choose to be attracted. The same way I didn't choose to be gay. I didn't choose to be attracted to a man. So why would I penalize someone who is doing something that they're attracted to, and they just want to keep it between him and that person? I thought that that's what it's about. I won't want nobody to tell my business. So I treat people the way I like to be treated, straight up.
For sure.
I've met guys to be like, oh, I went on ahead and told, and I'm like, don't tell nobody that. That's my business. Don't tell nobody. Like he was like, oh, nah, cause I don't care. I was like, hey, but don't tell my business. You telling my business, not only yours. So I'm like, literally, I'm being so honest right now. I don't know why they think that everything. You know how many people have private friendships and relations? I don't know why this thing is just only the gays feel that we don't deserve, or trans women don't deserve any type of respect or privacy because we're trans. Like, our business can't be our business. A guy dealing with us, that can't be his business. Now, it comes a different term when it's cheating involved or manipulation involved, or like he has people or a whole life or a wife. That's different. But just merely a person, a guy dealing with a trans woman, and that has to be broadcasted, or he's shamed, or he's I know some females who is up under like strict guidelines of, hey, don't tell my business.
Yeah, straight up.
Are they shamed because they have to keep a secret? They have to be a secret? So let's stop this little head game like, oh, trans women is just settling because, oh, we're a secret and we just settle for that. No, I know some females who can't post up with a nigga, who can't mention a nigga name. So explain that. Right. But see, that's the manipulation that people will play on you to try to get in your business or make you feel belittled
Right.
or as if you're settling. I'm not settling because I don't like my business told myself. I don't have no points to prove.
I know that's like a big thing for a lot of people. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want trans men or trans women teaching in schools. They don't want trans men or trans women sort of in positions that could influence a child and things like that. So, how do you feel about becoming a parent or being parents and that role in society?
I have regret. I should have had a child.
Really?
I do. And one of the first persons who looked at me and told me was a Muslim that I was very cool with in prison. He was like a brother to me, a very dear brother, very dear. And me and him used to vibe, and we used to talk. He enlightened me about Islam, this, that, and the third. And one day he was like, after talking to me for a few months, he was like, you know what, Queen, you should have had some children. And I was like, oh, I got you. I got gay children. He was like, no, you should have had some children from you. And what made me think of that, he was like, because of my wisdom and this, that, and the third. So now, fast forward to your question. I think that trans people, LGBT people, certain ones, should have children. Why not? Like, first of all, none of my situations growing up as a child, which I mentioned earlier, came from an openly gay person. Not one came from an openly gay person. Okay, we watch the news. We watch. So, regardless of how we feel, life is showing us. See, people want to feel how they feel, but they don't want to go with what life is showing us. And life is showing us that it's the people who look ordinary. It's the men and women who have children. It's the men and women who are straight. It's the men and women who are married. So life is showing us life now. Life is showing us that it has nothing to do with your gender or your sexuality on your influence on raising a child. Life is showing us this. The news, the blog is showing us stories and situations. So just because a person feel, we can't help how a person feel. But I don't have children, but I have nieces, nephews who I raised. To my knowledge, is they're none of them are gay. To my knowledge, none of them are trans, and they were raised by a trans auntie.
Right.
So I'm going by what life have shown me, what I have experienced. People still going by what they think, but that's only because that's how they want to think. Right. That's how they want to feel. I feel that me being a trans person, even with some of the things I went through as a child, either you're going to grow up to do those things to people or resent those things. I grew up to resent those things, so I don't play about children.
That's right.
And I know I have several trans family members who don't play about children. I don't know of any trans people who have had situations with dealing with children. So I'm trying to figure out, what does a person's transition have to do with their values and their heart and their love? Okay. I think that they forget that trans people are human beings. Period. Human beings that have a place in society, that has something to offer to the world, that has something to offer to some babies, that have something to offer to a job, a corporate, the same liberties, because we're human beings. So what proof do they have? Proof. Do they have that a trans or anyone from the LGBT community isn't equipped to raise a child? What proof? Show me the proof.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think they try to go the route of like how impressionable kids are, and you know how they like look up to their parents and stuff like that.
Once again, I say I raised both of my nephews
And yeah,
and my niece. I'm talking about first Pampers I changed, and they grew up me transitioning, and that I know of,
for sure.
know me. So it's not about, like I said, I wasn't around any gay people when I was raised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was raised by my mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles. My mom had like a gay bestie who I used to call uncle, but he didn't raise me. He wasn't that influenced. So we are who we are, and it doesn't have to do with. Now you can't condition a child. Now I think that can be, like let them in different environment. But I don't think that a LGBTQ person is going to is just gonna have a way with a child because he's just gonna just pick up because he see this person doing something or this person is transitioning, so now they think that that's the thing to do.
Right.
If that's not who they are, I don't think that can go that way.
And why can't you have kids?
Why can't I? Because I don't. Nowadays, I wouldn't even have them now because I'm so scared of how they would come out. And I'm not speaking of being gay. I'm talking about coming out as far as hurting their parents, coming out to be some of these deranged lunatics, coming out to be such a terrible person in life. See,
Right.
people only want to include how their child come out as far as being gay, but I know plenty of straight children who are terrible, terrible human beings. Like, let's get away from this gay thing. Like, around here taking lives,
Right.
around here creating babies that they can't even take care of, around here abusing women.
Right.
So they always want to worry about whether their child is going to come out straight or gay. No, worry about whether your child come out a good person or a bad person.
Straight up, straight up. I spoke to one of my gay friends, and I remember him telling me that STDs in the gay community are not looked at as like a big thing. I mean, he talks about being on PrEP. He talks about other preventative drugs that sort of keep him in line so he doesn't. He said he don't even care if he has sex with somebody with HIV. That's how advanced we are with drugs and just things that prevent a lot of STDs. Yeah, he didn't care about herpes. He said everybody got herpes. He could care less about that. It was just, he said what a lot of people don't do is they don't educate themselves on STDs, period. So when they hear about it, it just becomes like this, whoa, what the, you know what I mean? So if you could speak about the STDs within your community or within just your life or things that you've experienced, what's sort of your stance on how it's impacted maybe your life?
Okay. Well, I'm actually a co-founder of a nonprofit organization. I'm a certified HIV counselor and tester for the state of Florida. I'm a peer special counselor, so I'm very educated on that whole issues of that. I've never taken PrEP. I promote PrEP. I wouldn't take PrEP because I think that it will open the doors for me to not care. See what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, child, I'll be okay. So I think so personally for me, no. And that is another reason why I stay in control, because when you in control like that, you kind of control what goes on all the way through from in bed and all. And see, well, they just did a rating set at Houston,
Oh, so that.
and the STDs is like rampant. And I think that's like a personal thing. I think it's very personal. For the trans community, I think that trans women is kind of, human beings are human beings,
Sure.
but I'm trying to word it correctly. It's kind of like a dip. Well, I can't say that because it's trans girls. For me, let me just speak about me. I just have always been just like a health fanatic. Just cared about health, cared about like what I do and how I do it. Because I've always grew up. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So for me, it's like I care about those things. So I can't relate to that. You would probably have to, because is he trans or is he a gay guy?
He's a gay guy.
He's a gay guy. So I think you would, and like I don't want to speak on like the mind frame of a gay guy, although at one point I was a gay guy, but even then I have a whole interview, somebody speaking on my person. I'm gonna send this to you.
Okay.
Somebody speaking on my personality when I was a gay boy. They say I was like 16, and even then this person speaks how I was just like, no, like don't, like I just have always cared, and I think that just comes with like upbringing. I think that's like a personal upbringing thing, or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think the suicide rate amongst trans?
I need to research that. I've been hearing, but I think they said with with sex changes, with reassignments.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder why. I wonder why. That is a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question. I have known a few girls who get reassignments who have said that it maybe wasn't necessary. Um, because you have to think we are who we are. Like no matter how much genitalia we get corrected, we still are who we are from here.
That's right.
Here.
That's right.
And so, and I think I've known some to get a reassignment thinking that, that'll pull the boys or a boy, but, and I've met guys who was like, listen, you still, are you complete? And, like I told you, I'm complete to my degree of complete. Now, what do you mean? And a guy have actually thought that I was like totally reassignment and was like, oh no, that ain't what I want. So just imagine you go and get that done and you run into a guy who was like, oh, I thought you still, like
Right.
I could get that from my girlfriend or the girl around or the girl next door. I wanted something exotic. I wanted something different. And per se, they fall in love with a guy. And this guy, now they've gotten this procedure and they love this guy, but this guy still cannot get over what he appreciated about a trans woman and what differentiated a trans woman.
Right. Right.
So I don't know why. I mean,
Yeah.
my heart goes out to, like honestly, because that's something you can't come back from,
Straight up.
so, but I want to do some research about that from a like caring point. I'm gonna research that.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Mm. Mm. Let me think. Probably not having a baby, someone that I could have really poured some of me into, because my baby would have been such a beast.
Mm.
That, but then I'd be like, having a child, that's a lifetime responsibility for those of us who take anything we do serious. There's some people who just have children and have children. Brag about having 8, 9, 10 children that don't have a bond with none of them. So for me, I maybe would have wanted a little too much control over my child. Because I'm like, listen, you're not doing this. You're not, because I want my baby to grow up to be just so healthy and strong mentally. I don't care what my baby did, but baby, you take care of yourself and you just can't trust people out here, And I would have been the same type of mother that my mom was to me.
Are people born gay?
I personally think so, yes. I personally think so, yes.
And
Um,
you?
yes, yes. At 5 and 6 years old, who did I see? You can see the femininity at 5 or 6 years old. Even some of the guys who they call DL, they were born that way, but they can't. This is why they don't get any level of understanding because they don't think deep enough to say, if this man can do a person wake up and say, "Oh, I want to be straight"?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're just straight. They didn't choose to be straight.
Mm-hmm.
So make it make sense. Can a person be attracted to both sexes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What do you have to say about people that say that being trans is a mental illness?
It, well, I think that everybody have some level of mental something going on. Okay, it's just different levels to this shit. Okay.
That's a fact.
So once again, that's just some manipulative things to try to belittle trans people or make them look into themselves or feel bad about who they are. But once again, what life is showing us now, if it was only trans people committing suicide, if it was only trans people unhappy with life, if it was only trans people running around here snapping the door, then I go by the proof. I don't go by what people think and feel because life is showing us differently. Blogs, the internet is showing us differently. So I think that these guys around here blowing each other's brains out is mental illness. I thought they said the gay people were demons, but who around here blowing people's brains out? Who and rapping about it, dancing? So like stop. People will really try to pay, and it's the women who really do these things, and they wonder why men manipulate and play on their intelligence, and then they turn around and try to manipulate and play on trans LGBT's intelligence and make them feel bad. When don't do that, because what life is showing me that what you're saying is not true.
What's the biggest misconception of trans women?
The biggest misconception is that we're trying to replace females. That is the biggest misconception.
Women are not your competition.
Nor am I your enemy. Nor am I your enemy.
If you could go back in time and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
You don't have to experience prison to feel that you gain a level of. Because I secretly wanted to experience prison. Meaning, I didn't turn myself in, I didn't commit the crime to go. But I had heard so much about it, and I had violated probation, and they wouldn't give me a bond. And I got tired of sitting to the county jail, and I heard the boys talking about it. And baby, it kind of, I was like probably like 24 then, and about 24, 25, and they was talking about it. Ooh, if you go to prison, ooh, and ooh, and this, and I was like, I wonder if I could survive something like that. And so they was like, oh, well, we'll give you 12 months in the county. The county wasn't enough going on for me. I'm going to move in and shake. So I said, child, let me go on the prison, child, and see if I can survive it. And, but then it became like, and once you see that you can survive something, you be like, oh, child, I'm good.
Wasn't that bad?
It wasn't that bad. Outside of missing my family, but if I probably would have took a couple of them bids. Like, no, bitch, you don't have to keep going now.
I mean, you got your career now, music, shout outs from people like Nicki Minaj. I mean, what's next for you?
Actress, acting. I just enrolled in acting school to polish my acting up in media. A lot of people thought I wanted to be a rapper. I'm an artist. I'm an entertainer.
That's right.
I just enjoy executing that because I've always written poems, and I was like, well, let me see. And so I started rapping just to execute a talent. A lot of people have talents that they won't tap into. And so I tapped into rapping because I knew that I could. And it did what it was supposed to do. It gained Nicki Minaj's attention. Right.
You're doing something right. You're doing something right. Any advice that you would give another trans woman that's maybe not feeling it, ain't feeling too good about life, or just anything that you wish someone would have spoken life into you? If you could speak life into someone else, what would you say?
Do what makes you happy. Don't let anyone define what is real, what is fish, what is everything. Always remember beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Always remember that you set your standard of the type of trans woman you want to be. Always remember that you're an individual. That's most importantly. Always remember that you're an individual.
This is Trappin Anonymous. My name is Chris Styles.